Well. Tottenham Hotspur qualify for the final 16 in the Champions League after a 2-0 win away from home at Frankfurt. And yet another clean sheet, the most clean sheets across the Champions League, and that makes it 6 clean sheets. And what a win! What a win we have! Who would have thought it? Is it too soon to be booking our flights to Budapest? What do we think? Maybe we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves, but don't forget who we are. Don't forget this badge and don't forget who we are. We are champions of Europe. And when it comes to the European stage, well, we show up. And tonight, credit to Frank. He got some things right and the team were well up for it. And maybe you could say that Frankfurt was some easier competition than that of the Premier League. But hey, it's a game of football, and on their day, anyone could win it. Frankfurt is not an easy place to go. So, final score 2-0, the first half. Just to run us over briefly, because I'm going to go into the full match lowdown tomorrow. But just briefly, first half, we probably should have got a couple of goals. The first one was offside. Xavi hits. Xavi hit the post? I think I need to watch things back, but I think it was Xavi that hit the post. No, it was Odegaard. Odegaard hit the post, which was very unfortunate. But I feel like we stepped it up a gear in the second half. And of course, it came from open play, our first goal, but Xavi did a free kick, which went to Romero, and we were clearly exercising those sort of longer balls out, and Romero heads it back into Moani and he hits it into the goal. So that was our first goal. And obviously our second goal was a terrible back header from Frankfurt. Solanke picks up the ball and puts it into the back of the net. So congratulations to both of those. Who would have thought Moani would be stepping up and scoring in this game? And we were all doubting Frank. Why are you putting Moani in the squad? Solanke should be in the squad. But you know what? I think it was great management. I think it was great game management from Frank today. I think he did a really good job, not starting Solanke. He clearly isn't match fit to play these back-to-back games. He started the last three, I think, definitely the last two. So yeah, great for him to have a rest because he will most likely start against City on the weekend. But it was a very, very decent performance. Hopefully that gives Moani a bit of a lift. Xavi looked fantastic and he has these moments. He needs to still work on his final ball because we definitely could have come away from that game with like a 4-0. Odegaard, you can see he's coming into his own now, and I love that for him. Very decent performance considering how depleted our squad was before this game. 14 players out injured. Back line, not our first team back line. Danso, fantastic game. I guess Udogie flying up the wing, fantastic. God, we've missed him. And Spence on the right, also could have worked on his crosses and a few of the final balls. He has his swagger. He needs to do better on some things, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. We can enjoy the glory just for tonight until we come down back to earth tomorrow. But yeah, Xavi was very, very active in this game. Gray, I thought, was excellent. He was very solid. I think he has a tendency to sort of grow into the games, but very happy with his performance. Overall, all round, I thought it was a great job. And he put on Byfield towards the end. So fair play to Frank. I think, obviously, look, Romero is clearly fighting for the team. He's clearly fighting all over the pitch to get everywhere, to get back defending, to get forward. And maybe I was watching with my dad and we were saying like there was no long throws in this game, which maybe we thought there might have been some long throws. But I thought maybe that was a tactical thing because maybe he didn't want Danso to move out of position and then get ourselves in a place where we were short at the back. So I think that was kind of a smart move from Frank. And maybe that's why we saw a couple of our free kicks were a little bit different. Obviously, because we didn't have Porro, we couldn't do our usual. So it just goes to show you sometimes when you mix it up that, yeah, you can pull it off. Sometimes when you mix it up, you can pull it out the bag. I thought, Paulinho was one of our most outstanding players. He had a great game. He was everywhere. And it's been a bit of a shame that he's been out. But I think that goes to show that you need squad rotation. And look, I'm looking to the board now. I'm looking to Enoch. Because at the end of the day, You've got to back the manager. You can see what's possible when we play good football. You can see what's possible. But in order to do that, in order to compete on more than one front, you need to reinforce the squad. And I cannot stress it enough. And I know there's still lots of you out there that's going to say, no, Sarah, the true test is going to be after these next few games. Well, as far as I'm aware, Frank's proved himself in the Champions League. He's proved himself in the Champions League. And people will argue, well, we didn't have a hard run, blah, blah, blah. But hey, Newcastle aren't in that top 8. So, no other team has had 6 clean sheets. So, if you think that maybe it's still Frank's time to go and the board, we can just let them get away with it yet again and bring in someone else and not spend any money on buying players that we know that we need, then have your say. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear. What did you think of this game? What did you think of this game? How are you feeling? Obviously, we know that the teams that we are going to potentially be facing after the knockout round, and it does depend, it's going to either be Juventus, Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge, or Galatasaray. So out of those, you'd probably favour maybe an Atletico Madrid or Club Brugge, but I mean, that's not our decision to make. We'll have to see how those games play out. And we'll also have to see what happens, I think, with the draw to find out exactly what happens. But look, Frank's been under pressure over the last few weeks, and to come out and show a performance like that, fair play to the players. Fair play to the players, having a game on the weekend to go straight out there. I thought Vicario didn't really have too much to do. Most of Frankfurt was pretty quiet throughout this game. I think there was one shot which hit the crossbar. I think that was in the first half. I think it was halfway through the first half. I think they hit the crossbar. And yeah, if that was a little bit lower, that would have gone in and that would have changed the momentum of the game for sure. But in all, decent. He also managed the squad, as I said. So he took off Udogie, he took off Odebert, and he took off Mawani. He took off Udogie in the last minute. So I don't know where that leaves us for the next game. But look, maybe Sousa gets a go next game because you need to be rotating the squad. But off the back of that, my initial reaction is, fair play. And look, it wasn't the prettiest game of football, okay? It wasn't the prettiest game of football. It wasn't so open, but European games aren't like that. You get more time on the ball. It's not as physically intensive as the Premier League. It's not as much of a race as it is in the Premier League sometimes. So, it is a different style of play when you're playing in Europe, and maybe that suits us more, but in order to get into Europe again, and that's still not off the cards. I know the narrative is still talking about relegation, but hey, it's not off the cards. And if we can keep winning games and we can go on a little run now, then why not? Why not? Anything is possible. When you believe it, anything is possible. Do not forget who we are. Stop buying into the narrative. Get behind your club. Support your team. And I know some of you here still don't want Frank in, and that's okay. But for now, he's the guy in the hot seat. And the people I'm looking at is the board. Because it does not matter what manager you have in at the moment. The squad is depleted. And you need to give him the resources to help us push through to the next stages and progress through the next stages. That's the only way. That's the only way we're going to be able to do this. I think Solanke, we have missed him so much. I know there's a lot of you out there that don't rate Solanke, but he works so hard. He's such a workhorse. And look, he just picks up the ball, he sees the opportunity, and he makes the run. He's not the fastest player on the pitch, and maybe in another game he gets beaten by his man. But he has the foresight to do it. And he has the balls to go ahead and take the shot. And it's a clean shot. He keeps it calm, he keeps it low, and it rolls into the back of the net. So fair play to him. Fair play. We're going to do a proper deep dive down into tomorrow, into the game. But for now, I want to know your thoughts. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this round? How does this change your perception on anything? Do you think the board should start backing the manager? Do you think we should wait until the next game? I mean, the next game is one day before the window closes. We do not have long now. We do not have long. Next Monday, next less than a week from now, the window closes. And I want to see at least one more player coming through those doors to help secure the squad, to help us create that depth that we need to get to the next level. Come on, you Spurs, and I'll see you all in the next video tomorrow.